Here's me, and me switches to the real me that is right here, and that's pretty much it. Most people, when I tell them that I'm a content creator and that I do a lot of acting and production stuff on the side, they don't really understand what it implies. If you're from LA and in the acting business, you know how much time and energy it takes. But what I found is that most people don't really see all the work that is put into creating these videos. And not just creating YouTube content, but literally creating films, production meetings, helping friends on their productions, and just getting one's daily stuff done. So in this video, I'm going to take you through a bunch of things that I literally did just this week. I'm not saying that all weeks are as busy as this, but it's a good example of how my life is in general. Every month, I create on average 7 YouTube videos. I alternate between doing a week with 2 video releases that are shot in studio, and the second week, I only release 1 video, but with more of a vlog style or out of the studio style to it. Here I am in the middle of my studio, and I'm actually trying to set up for some new YouTube videos that I'm going to be shooting. And as you can tell, the wall right here is very bland. So I tried to decorate. There is a poster there, but I'm going to probably cover it with some other poster and stuff like that. So I have a very big selection of posters that I've accumulated through time. And either I got it from friends for free, or I went to some stores and got some posters, or some of them I actually bought. But yeah, it's pretty cool to just change it up a little bit, make it a little bit more exciting. And I always like to have little cameos and stuff so that people can look at the background and be like, hey, that's a new poster. I never saw that before. So yeah, that's kind of like my little process. The videos look simple, but they do take an enormous amount of time to do. I try my best to create pleasant lighting, and as you can tell, I do go a little overboard with the camera. I use a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K with a Rockinon 35mm lens. Whenever I film new content, I will usually spend a good 3 hours setting up, and I will film 6 to 7 episodes back to back. Depending on how tired I get after a while, sometimes I'll split the filming and do the final episodes the second day. The reason I do a bunch of filming at once is because I cannot leave my condo as a studio 100% of the time. I'm living there too, so it'd be crazy to keep everything out all the time. Another thing that I do, and I will admit to it, is that I script a lot of what I have to say in my episodes. In order to do that, I use a teleprompter with a tablet attached to it, feeding me the script that I wrote. The reason that I do my episodes this way is that it literally saves me hours in the editing room. In the beginning, I did a bunch of videos where I would freestyle it, but then the videos would come out super long, and I'd have to cut and keep trimming and cut even more in order to keep it between 10 to 15 minutes. This way, I can just read, get the information out, and I'm on my merry way to editing. Another style of video that I film is a format called Walk and Talk, which I post mostly on Instagram, IGTV, and also on a second YouTube channel called Walk and Talk. As you can see, this is my point of view of when I do my walk and talks. I actually try to shoot 6 per week, and I do 3 releases per week, so I have enough for 2 weeks of videos. And it is simple, but it also does take some work to get out and start shooting and talking about stuff, but it is a great exercise. The reason I started doing these is because I wanted to become a better speaker. And yes, these videos are unscripted, and I literally do them in one take. Now with all the quarantines happening, one thing I noticed as I stayed more at home was that I was getting fat. Well, not really fat, but I must admit that I gained a good 10 pounds. Because of that, I decided that I should meal prep and really look out at what I eat. One of my favorite stores that I go to is John's. Here I am getting ready to shop at one of my favorite supermarkets called John's, which is a little bit of a more international style store. And since I'm from Europe, I always try to go and get a little bit cookies from Europe and maybe some of the sweets from Italy and stuff like that. And I've always found that this store has it compared to other stores in America where I sometimes have a hard time finding what I want. But at the same time, they have really, really good prices. They have good produce, which sometimes, even though I love Trader Joe's and they have a lot of really great foods and stuff like that, and I even made a video kind of advertising for them and stuff like that, I found that the fruit at John's is much better. And also, since the whole quarantine started, I've been trying to be a little bit more healthy and more health conscious in my food, especially because I started gaining a little bit of weight at some point. So being sure that I go to a store where I can buy a lot of produce, vegetables, fruits at a very good price, I'll say, is very important to me and very important. So yeah, John's is the place to go. And if you're looking for international or European stuff, once again, John's is your store. And yes, I did lose the 10 pounds. I started using an app called MyFitnessPal, which really helped me keep track of what I ate. I also cut most of my carbs, which made a big difference. Once I started looking at my calorie intake and being strict about it, it really didn't take long to get to a better weight. After all, it's all in the science. You want to lose weight? Just be in calorie deficit and it'll happen. Now, I'm not an angel when it comes out to sweet stuff. I do actually eat sweet things. As you can tell, I actually have my sweet little cookies right here. But what I do in order to stay healthy is that I ration it. And in this way, I can have sweet stuff, but I can also stay healthy. Something I actually got into a habit of doing once every 2 weeks is Liege waffles, which are really simple to do. They only take a couple of ingredients and maybe take a maximum of 20 minutes of prep time followed by 20 minutes of cooking in order to come out with enough waffles to last 2 to 3 weeks. After 15-20 minutes of cooking, you end up with about 12 waffles, and that's enough for me for at least maybe 2 weeks, and sometimes even more, because sometimes I only have one waffle or half a waffle or a quarter of a waffle, so I end up with at least 2 weeks of waffle, sometimes 3. And yeah, it's just good, and as you can tell, it does look delicious. It looks delicious to me. I always say when you are dieting, it's not about punishing yourself, but more so not overeating, but also figuring out a few treats to have each day, but in moderation. Another aspect of my life since I really try to stay fit is weightlifting. The gyms have been closed on and off since March 2020, and I really wanted to keep in shape, so I invested in a bunch of weights, an adjustable bench, a pull-up tower, TRX bands, and a bunch of other gym stuff. I will make it a point to train 6 times a week and strictly follow a routine that was given to me by a personal trainer friend. And on most days, I'll also go on a stretching routine. I've always tried to stay limber, and as I get older, I feel that staying mobile is going to be my fountain of youth. On this particular week, I was asked to help a friend to do sound on set. Here I am in front of Funko Studios. There's my friend Chris J. Alex that's shooting his feature film, and I did do a little acting part in it, but also on these last 2 days of filming, he needs some help with the sound. So I volunteered for it, and let's see how it's gonna go. But it's always fun to help friends, and it kind of goes with, I'll say, indie filmmaking, if that makes any sense. They offer 16,000 square feet of studios, including an art department, prop fabrication, model shop, costumes, and have many different pre-built sets such as a bar, a spaceship, a green screen area, and plenty of space in order to create custom sets. These were 2 really long days, which basically consisted of 2 overnight shoots. And even though I don't do crew too much, who am I to complain? I'm actually working on set during a crisis. Here we are in between takes for my friend's film where I'm helping him out doing some sound. And I just wanted to share with you guys this really cool set that they have. It's supposed to be a spaceship. So as you can see behind me, it's a green screen. And they have all these really cool apparatuses and all that. And if you turn around right here, they have this hallway which leads to another hallway and a bunch of other futuristic things. And yeah, I thought that this would be a really cool share just because you don't see this every day, and this is kind of like the backstage of Hollywood. Another task I set myself during this week is to transform my bedroom in a sort of green screen studio. With all the videos I'm filming, I sometimes feel like I'm always struggling between getting stuff filmed, but also trying to keep my house livable. Having a bedroom is nice and all, but my square footage is pretty limited. And I always found that having a bed taking up most of my room it's a waste of space. On top of that, my editing computer is in my bedroom, and I sometimes have editing sessions at my house, and I always found it extremely cramped. So I decided to turn my bed into a sort of Semimurphy bed by basically having the mattress behind a green screen curtain and transforming the base of the bed back into a futon. This way I can have a proper studio office in my house, and I'm really very happy to sleep on the futon. Then if I really want to use a mattress, I can still turn it into a bed if I really wanted to, but most likely 99% of the time, it'll just remain like this. And that's a wrap, as they say. As you can tell, I did manage to put the green screen right here, and there is a method to my madness. It was looking a little bit crazy before I put the green screen on, but it does look good. I'm really, really happy. And as you can tell, I can pull it back and I have my mattress and I still have a functional room. Apart from this, the rest of my week mostly consists of editing all day long, doing Zoom calls, and getting my next production ready. The days fill up fast, and I feel like it's always a constant struggle between juggling my time with work and trying to have at least a little bit of a social life. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. This is just a snapshot of a week in my life, and I'm really looking forward to bringing more content to this channel. Please be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.